Hello, Joe here with Jamco Controls with the third video for SQL Niagara 4 to SQL Server connection. In this one, I'm going to actually make the connection with SQL, and we're going to see data uh, brought into SQL from Niagara 4. Um, to start out with, I have a station um, running, and it's just a plain station with some test points in there. I just put some ramps and stuff in there that are that have some history extensions that are recording pretty fast, so we could have some data in there. But that's the only thing that this station has that's special. So the first thing we do is go into drivers, and I could do a RDBMS network from right there, or I can just go to the new driver and scroll down to RDBMS network and go OK. Then double click in that and go new and SQL Server database. I'm only going to use the privileged connection, and it's going to be Niagara underscore user. I could wait to put this in also when I go in to modify it. And then it's going to be Niagara 321, I believe. Still have this open. Yep. And go OK. Now double click in there. Oh, I'm sorry. That opens up our property view. Now, host address on this is going to be local host. That could be, if it's a network, it could be an IP, or it could be a fully qualified domain name. We're not going to be encrypted on this, and we don't have a certificate, so turn that off. Export mode by history ID is good. The instance name is Niagara underscore 415, the database name. Instance name for SQL Server is always the actual instance, like we installed it. They kind of get that backwards in Niagara. So your instance name is the database name, not your actual instance. Now here's the kicker: is you need some connection properties in this to make it work. This is my string. I'm just going to paste that in there. Now that FQDN, that is your fully qualified domain name, and it could be up here if you're not doing this locally, if you don't have a database living on the same machine. But it's your computer name if you're just doing it locally and you have the database on the same machine. So my computer's name is I'm going to click save and just make sure that's everything. All right. So I can right click just like anything else, actions and ping. Oh, there's the problem. So we talked earlier about these ports. 1433 is the default port, but in Niagara, since we have the browser running and we're using a dynamic port in our SQL Server because we can, I have to just zero that out, make that port 0, not 1433. Now I can try it again. And it says it's okay. So SQL Server is used for histories quite a bit. That's what it's used for. So I'm going to double click in that histories container. And just like anything else, I do a discover. It finds them. And I want to grab all these histories that I have made here, not the audit or log or security history. I don't, you could send those to SQL Server. And I guess there might be some reasons that you would do that. But for testing, we're just doing those. And then I'm going to highlight them all. And I want them to go quick. I want SQL Server to do them like every minute. Now, I could just highlight these and archive them, but it's going to do them immediately since I chose that 1 minute. And it's going to go through and queue them every 60 seconds. We'll just let it get done. Maybe. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to minimize. And using SQL Server Management Studio, I'm going to make a connection to that database so we can see our data. It remembers that connection string. Expand it, expand that database, and you'll get to this via tables. And here they are. I want to look at one of these, maybe a ramp or a sine wave, a ramp. And I'm going to select top 1,000 rows. And there's our data. I believe it's going to have, well, probably not more than 1,000 rows. It's got 500 and something. Depending on how long you've run the trends. So that's the data you get out of there. Now, back to our station, and then we have this export mode by history ID. We could change this to history type. Now we have to wait for it to maybe sync some more histories. Or we could archive them right now. Now let's go back and look. Refresh. Now it's got one for a Boolean trend, one for an enum trend, and a numeric trend. Look at the numeric, select top 1,000 rows. Now it puts them all in there, and then it gives you this history ID. There's ramp, there's 1, there's ramp 2. So it puts the numerics in the same one. Let's do something different here. We didn't get all those. Remember in SQL, it scripts almost everything. just erase that and highlight it, go execute. Now we should have got every field we got in there. Yep. So there's random 1, ramp point 2, mixed them all up. But it's doing it by the type, right? By the numeric trend, Boolean trend, and the enumerated trend. I don't know how important that is. I tend to like this other way of doing it, so I'm going to change it back. Also, I like to get data out, and my next video will show getting data out. So I'm going to go back to History ID, save. So that's how easy it is to set up SQL Server. Now, bear in mind, this is SQL Server that's local and is not secure. It's not encrypted. I may do a video with an encrypted version. I may not. Certificate management is definitely beyond the scope of this video. And I know that's where a lot of systems integrators fall short. There's a whole new group of people that do nothing but certificate management, and they may not even be real good at IT work, but they're real good with certificates. So it's not in the purvey of this video, but I may show how to do a secure connection. My next video will go over actually getting data out of SQL Server into Niagara 4. See you next time. Thanks.